Simpson. And Japan have gone absent without leave. This is Whitmore. Hall and Gale both available. It's still Whitmore. It is the Reggaeboyz who take the lead.
Ballchat. Greetings, football lovers. Welcome to Ballchat podcast. A very cold afternoon in the ATL. My name is Benton, along with the family. Engineer, we're bridging in the team, Fulham. But what go on, all things over our side, according to Marco Silva in the team, Fulham. But how are things, family? How you doing?
All right, but good enough. Like I said, cold. Today was supposed to be the day we'll go back to the ball field, but Jano, Mother Nature have other plans.
Yes. Ball field not seeing me at this temperature. Currently what? 48 degrees Fahrenheit in the ATL. So not seeing me on at the field today, family.
5 years ago, yes.
Yes, exactly.
5 years ago, I play ball today, but no.
Exactly. All right, football lovers, welcome to Ballchat podcast. We will review some of the week's major news in the world of football. Currently going on, we have Scudetto matchup between Inter Milan and Juventus. Inter down 1-0 as Juventus is leading that encounter. Also going on, El Clasico is currently going on. Barcelona and Real Madrid tied 1-1 at the break. So we'll keep you up to date on that one. Football lovers, as you know how we do it, welcome to the show. Big up to all the subscribers and regular listeners. Always appreciate it. We have a jam-packed show today. We're going to discuss a week that was looking at Champions League quarterfinal matchup coming down and Champions League encounters in the middle of the week. We'll take a look at FA Cup games that took place this weekend as one Mr. Marco Silva, Mitrovic and Willian are ticked off. Manchester United make it to the semi-final. We'll also discuss Europa League game and also take a look at the one Mr. Antonio Conte's fiery press conference, post-match presser after the draw against Southampton. Yo, we're about to kill us. Man angry, miserable, cross. Antonio Conte is all of the above, Junior. But we kick it off with Ballers and Bugs. Ballers been impressive players, Bugs been unimpressive players of the week. You have Baller of the Week award, send them on. Let's go, Junior. Baller of the Week. Who do you have, family?
But you know, my ball of the week goes to two strikers. Mr. Osimhen. I said people went crazy over the goal in the Champions League, right? That was a great header and blah blah blah. Yes, a great header, but we've seen better. But the thing is, this brother cannot stop scoring. And one thing about Napoli, as Thierry Henry said that they are a very balanced team, which is true. You have no idea where the threat is going to come from, which is true. But if you're going to play against Napoli, the first name you put on the team sheet that you say cannot beat me is Mr. Osimhen. And guess what? The man beat everybody. So I'm going to get my ball of the week. Also have to give it to the Viking himself, the man that have a hat-trick problem himself, Mr. Erling Haaland. I laughed when I hear you guys, and not you, Benton, but a lot of people out there saying...
You can't throw your stones.
No, not you. Okay? I would tell you, say, if you said it, I'll say you. But I laughed when people said he is overrated. Even scoring at the clip that he scored in England. People were saying he is overrated. If that is an overrated striker, God go with football when he realize his true potential. God, that brother is built to score goals. How about two balls like that?
Those are two balls. It seems like, let me get this straight, Junior. I just want to be abundantly clear. Every time the Vikings score a few goals, two plus something, he will get a ball of the week from you. Is this? Can we go ahead and check that box right now? It doesn't matter the opponent or the way the goals are scored. You will just give him a ball of the week. We just want
Benton, the man scores 6 goals in one week of football. 6 goals.
No, I'm not discrediting. I'm not discrediting.
All right, so nobody asking a full question.
I'm not discrediting this week, but I know you are a fan, And I just want to make sure that once he scored 2+ goals, he will get a ball of the week.
The man scores 6 goals this week, Bedad. 6. The man scored more goals than Lukaku scored this year so far, I think.
Lukaku was injured. He was injured.
The man scored more goals than the Chelsea striker them this year in 1 week.
Football family, we're getting the Ballers and Bugs segment. Sit on your ballers, sit on your bugs. Baller of the Week award. My Ballers of the Week, I have a few ballers I want to highlight. I want to first Baller of the Week, Thiago BBC Almada. And for the Jamaican fans, you know what BBC mean, that colorful language. Thiago BBC Almada scored a spectacular goal for Atlanta United, a 5-1 beat down of a local idiot side. I don't even know what of Portland Timbers, as Atlanta United looks excellent at the start of the season. Yo, running Chelsea, I will serve with the money bag in the summer, because the shopping window will be open for one Mr. Thiago Almada. So, ball of the week for him. Ball of the week to Mr. Pedro Conclaves, the man who scored the stunner way from downtown, from midfield, against Arsenal. So, big up to Mr. Pedro Conclaves for a beautiful goal. As that, Junior, we don't see goals like that. We don't. When you see those goals, you just gotta take them in. You don't see goals like that, family.
True, and goals, and that was meant. That was executed. That's a better word. An executed attempt.
Yes.
You don't see goals like that often.
We don't see goals like that. And ball of the week to the one and only Paul Robert De Sales, who is goalkeeper Violet AC. Haitian team. Big up to all the Haitians rushing in and running in on Ballchat. Big up yourself. Haitian team defeated Austin FC of the MLS in the CONCACAF Champions League knockout round. Yo, big up yourself, Violet AC and goalkeeper Robert De Sales. Made 9 saves. We'll discuss this later on in as we get into a more detailed, our granular section of the show. We'll discuss in detail what happened in that game. But big up, ball of the week to the goalkeeper Robert De Sales and all the players, even the one who are stuck in Haiti, of Mr. Violet AC, because the U.S. Department, our ICE, was very limited in the visa situation. So those are my ballers of the week, family. Balls of the week, who do you have?
You know, a couple reporters. We don't know the name. I want to say they are both affiliated with ESPN, but when you sit Pulisic down, Christian Pulisic down, first of all, why are we hearing from Christian Pulisic? That's number one.
Captain America, Junior.
Well, sorry, Captain America, Marvel new face not come out yet. So when you're asking Christian Pulisic all these questions and rehashing the whole Craig Berhalter, the whole Claudio Reyna and Gio Reyna mess, right? And then coupling it with what the finding was from the report, to me, it just take away from football and it just bring more of pop culture in it, right? And right now, US football could be like it could be like a soap opera. And the other reporter, I don't know why the hell they're going to ask Carlo Ancelotti about Hazard in the week of El Clasico. Why are we talking about Eden Hazard and his playing minutes? There are 2 reporters that get bug of the week. What? We don't talk to the baller, and the baller when I play 2x2 bug them. My next bug, Mitrovic and Marco Silva, Fulham coach and Fulham striker. If you watch a FA Cup game today, you can be the most Manchester United hater ever. There is no talking about that penalty. Even William knew. Yeah, my hand the ball. See, I'm try to put my hand like this. My hand the ball, me take my red card. Marco Silva will rush the ref going to the VAR. And then the ref say, yo, red card. Mitrovic now will rush the ref and drag the ref by my hand. Red card. And now there's this big controversy about how the referees were cheating against Fulham. But to stop with the foolishness, man. It's just, It's just stupid coaching and stupid reaction by Mitrovic. I get the emotion in the game and you played 70 great minutes and you're about to give up a tying goal and you're losing William. We get that. But when them sit down and watch a replay, they must say, yeah, I was a damn idiot. Should have never done that. Also, my last bug, Arsenal. Let me tell you something. Arsenal is the Memphis Grizzlies of football. What I mean by that is, Memphis, forget about Jamarat. Memphis Grizzlies, they are a hot topic right now in NBA, right? And Bryce, we remember the youth name. The youth were him and Clay Thompson going back and forth. And Clay Thompson did this to him yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4 rings. Basically saying, all this hype where you're hyping up yourself, you don't win nothing yet. Arteta, you have not won anything as yet. You have not earned the right to start a B-side in a must-win Europe game. I'm sorry. You cannot come out now and say, resting my players, or they have to use my squad. No, stupidity. It costs you the League Cup. It costs you Europa. And God, go with Arsenal and the Viking and company take over Premier League. Because I am going to roast them. And Arsenal don't win the Premier League because it's obvious. Arteta and company only cares about the Premier League. God, go with Arsenal if they don't win the Premier League. I hate that.
Junior, I thought it's Kim Kardashian why they didn't win that game against Sporting and not the fact that Mikel Arteta started a second string team.
Yo, let me tell you something. It's a Kim Kardashian. Let me publicly say it. I think just salt, Kim Kardashian salt, but we're not gonna lie, she still look good.
Ballers of the week. Big up Dalton. Dalton, big up yourself. Dalton says ballers are Holland and Neverton. Reggie, big up yourself. Reggie says ballers, baller of the week has to go to Erling Haaland. The man scored 8 goals this week in UEFA Champions League and FA Cup. So Junior, you shot him what? 2 goals because you had it at 6. How many did he score? Because I can't keep. I know the fan boy, the president of the fan club, keep track of the numbers, And a shout out to Thiago Almada and Bakos Saka. Saka, yes. Excellent company Saka has joined. 10 plus goals and 10 plus assists. Has joined excellent group. When you look at that, the personnel, the people on that group list, there's only one person who's on that list that shouldn't be there. Wait, I need to go back and look. So, Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, Alexis Sanchez, Van Persie. Who's the other one? I think Cesc Fabregas. Who else? Who's the other one? The Arsenal fans need to tell me. Who's the other person? There's one person on the list who shouldn't be there. But big up. All right, so Dalton give it the match. Junior match off. So he scored 8 goals this week. I won't want him go Dalton. The counting thing is not ready. So it's 8 goals. 5 goals in the Champions League and 3 in FA Cup. So big up. Thanks, Reggie. Reggie said he had to agree with Junior, but he's right. Arsenal aren't built for rotation. The man rotate. Premier League, the man I say, I want to, easy in the cell. My bugs of the week, family. CONCACAF. I want to get a little bit political for a reason. I normally don't do this. I leave the politics to Cameroon and Junior. And Cameroon is away. Big up yourself. Cameroon reference some games, so big up yourself. CONCACAF. CONCACAF is giving an advantage to the American teams in these regional competitions. The games are being played in the U.S. For example, this game against Violet AC. Austin FC was at home. CONCACAF could not work out a deal to make sure that Violet AC players got clearance or got the necessary visa to enter the country. Quite a few of their players were prevented from entering the country, and they had to sign semi-pro players who were based in the U.S. to play this game. It is crazy. Brother, you're not talking about equal competition. You're not talking about a competitive region. You're giving a balance to an unfair advantage to the American-based team because of the strict immigration stipulation from the U.S. Immigration Office. So CONCACAF needs to figure out a way to solve this because this cannot continue. And I will give the bug of the week also to the Caribbean countries' presidents of the respective Caribbean associations. How many Caribbean countries there are, Junior? I cannot remember. Each of them have a vote in electing the president of CONCACAF. And they return Mr. Victor Montagliani back to the helm as president of CONCACAF. Even when this brother is not helping the Caribbean team in these encounters. So how is this these Caribbean people cannot come together and vote somebody, I'm not saying Jack Warner or Jack Warner-like person, but somebody who is willing to put or help the Caribbean teams. So CONCACAF gets the bug of the week. The association presidents of the Caribbean, from JFF to Barbadian President FA Association, bug of the week. Bugs. Me done. All right, Junior.
Can I
got
just
it off my chest. Go ahead.
Are you done with your bugs now, right?
Yes.
There a couple years back when Ballchat, when we just started going live on video, I never forget. You know, but big like an elephant, so I have a good memory. I sat on the show and I said at the time that my bona fide upon CONCACAF, it was right around Gold Cup time when I said, did you guys know the US and Mexico will never play against each other in the Gold Cup unless it's the finals? And you guys laughed at me. And you said, oh, you know, conspiracy theories. So I said, no, look at it. They never play against each other until the finals. So if the federation president allowed that to happen, all these Gold Cups, allow that to happen, what we think they're going to do with the clubs? That is not a part of the federation.
Yeah.
So it's a status quo.
It's status quo.
Yeah, you just accept it. So
it's status quo, and it's the thing that is so disheartening is that you had Mr. Jeffrey Webb, who's now is on probation. He was the president of Cayman Island FA, and he was also the president of CONCACAF. You also have Jack Warner, who cannot leave Trinidad to certain countries. We worry about getting arrested. But so the Caribbean countries and Central Americas, they have the numbers to be able to elect somebody who represents their best interests. But what has happened is that they elected Victor Montagliani, the Canadian brother, and they re-elected him. So, I get screwed different way, and no man no one step forward and say, all right, I'm going to let my brethren for help you out, because when our teams come to the US to play these games, whether it's national teams or club teams, they have to go through these strict visa restrictions. And oftentimes these teams are weakened because Violet AC lost how many players going into this game? How many of their starters? And they had to sign semi-pro. They almost have run out bigs to play the game. And CONCACAF said, there's no backup plan, the match goes on. And if the team could not field a certain number of players, they would be deemed as withdrawn. And of course, Austin FC would have gone through.
So, play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
What do you, I don't have to move on, but it's a serious topic.
Yes.
What do you expect CONCACAF to do? Because we're not talking football now. We're talking international laws. We're talking immigration laws.
Yes,
we're talking especially for the United States. Playing devil's advocate, the clubs have to foot some of that responsibility. If you know if there's a chance for your team to travel to play football, part of the requirement at the club should be we're going to sort out a visa situation.
Yes.
So it is, I get it. It all ultimately fall right back on the CONCACAF president's feet, but then the CONCACAF president can easily say, well, you guys know what is required. If you know 2 years in advance that your team have to play in America, why your players don't have a visa?
Yeah. So here's what I would like to see CONCACAF do. Just playing devil's advocate. And to follow up the devil's advocate, these people, they might just come play a ball game. I know there's this runoff argument where man always talk about people come to foreign and they want to not return to their homeland, whatever. But there has to be some way to negotiate with U.S. Customs and Immigration Services to say, look, let's carve out some clearance so these players can come in, play the game, 48 hours, we guarantee in collaboration with the club that these players exit your country. Because at the end of the day, my CONCACAF responsibility is to foster a competitive league. As a fan, I don't want to watch this foolishness if I know say these teams can't compete with these MLS teams. So why does Fox News is gonna pay for the rights to show it? Because we just continue to show American team wins, and so then your broadcast and the ability to broadcast anywhere else is very limited. So you might broadcast well in Austin territory and you do well, but then outside of Austin you're not gonna do well. So CONCACAF has to be able to negotiate better with the U.S. Customs and Immigration Service. Said these players are coming in to play a game. They come in, we guarantee them got now. I see one time the Cubans players them like nine men can't enter. I say, what the Rastafari go on? So, and I know I am making it a little bit more simpler than it needs to be, but these teams are heavily weakened, and it's a severe disadvantage for them because you don't have the inverse, you don't have the opposite when these teams travel to Haiti or wherever to play the opposing encounter. When Austin FC go down Dominican Republic, go play the Haitian team, them should just tell them, say, yo, block off the visa for enough of them boys so them can't enter. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So limit their ability to field their best team. But it's a U.S. tactic. It's been a tactic, and it's something that gives the U.S. team an unfair advantage. CONCACAF.
That's what Jeremy said too. Big up Jeremy. Jeremy said that too.
All right. Let's move on. Run with it. Because right now Manchester United into the FA Cup semi-finals. Junior, we're going to get the thing up here. Let's get it up. You guys will face Brighton, Hove Albion. Talk us through the game today, brother, because you guys defeated Fulham. Mr. Marco Silva said up to 75 minutes, we were the best team, aka Fulham was the better team. He said they were supposed to have gotten 2 penalties. The ref and the media wants to talk about Fulham's Willian handball and the penalty. Junior, talk to me. What's going on? Was Fulham supposed to get up? Take off your Manchester United hat and put on your objective lens, brother.
Look, I don't know what Marco Silva talk about. Listen, Marco, your side played well. Your side give you a good 60, 65 minutes of football. Be proud of that, right? This rhetoric though, like you were cheated, man, go sit down there, man. All it is they had a meltdown and Manchester United show how clinical they can be or how ruthless they can be under Eric Ten Hag. Because I'm right, for the first 60 minutes, you can't really tell who is the better team, but then you have a lapse in error, a lapse in judgment by a coach and another player. We're not talking about Willian. And man, the man is at that point you knew the game was going to be done. You knew we were going to score more than 1 goal. So whatever.
Junior, Willian, why didn't Willian get a bug of the week? What was he doing here, Junior?
No, Willian did right. I mean,
he did right. You would have done the same thing.
I honestly, I don't think Willian intended to hand the ball.
What?
And I'll be honest with you. Me be honest with you. I hate that rule because I can look at that and judge it that he's really trying to come back and block the ball. It's unfortunate it hit him hand. I don't think he was trying to play goalkeeper. He was really trying to use his belly and block the ball. It's just that the shot.
Man, it's not a big belly man.
It don't matter, Benton. The shot came from 5 yards out, full blast. It's not like a pass shot. So it is unfortunate, but that's the rule. You hand the ball going into the goal. It's an automatic red card. Again, I don't like it because for this clear one. So what William did, William got a red card for hustling, right? It's unfortunate, but it's a rule. So when Mitrovic and the coach are going like two blinking idiots, brother, shut up, man.
All right, other semi-final, because it seems like you have nothing else to say about this one. I mean,
no, the thing is this. You see, the thing for Manchester, all right, Manchester United and Arsenal are polar opposites. Look at the rotation that Ten Hag will do for Manchester United versus what Arsenal does with Arteta. Ten Hag is not trying to lose any game, right? He is not. He refuses to lose games. And I think that mentality is now coming back into Manchester United. My worry though is like
so wait,
they can come out and
lose games, but Harry Maguire was on the field, right?
No, but you see, Harry Maguire was a blinking idiot. The man got pushed down Bobby Reed for no reason. I want that caused the goal, right? The cross that came in that caused the goal. I think, it was after that cross. Is Harry Maguire is still Harry Maguire, right?
And Anthony
Anthony.
Just said that Ten Hag is not trying to lose games.
No, he's not. But we don't really have no other option. Who will put Phil Jones?
Well,
it is weird. It's a weird thing because the 7-0 from Liverpool was a game where Man U you can look at the players them and say, yo, we're just into it to them, right? And we can say it is a lack of rotation that caused that. But then them go up against Betis or whoever they play that week, come back and use the same side, basically, against Fulham, with next week being the international break. You have to sit down and wonder, like, if I am a Ilanga, if I am a Pilestri, if I am a Garnacho hurt, if I am a Hannibal, all these young players that on the bench, they get spurred in 1 and 2 times. They're not really getting the chance to play as much as you would love, right? But I'm not trying to lose any game. And I think that is what catch Fulham by surprise. Because anybody else play for Man U today, Fulham win. If them up 1-0, they get the game done. So it is a weird game, to be honest. I sit down and watch the game. I'm going to say, under Ole, we'll lose this game. Even under Mourinho, we're down 1-0 here, so we'll lose the game. So the empire is back here, man. Who don't like it, bite it.
Eric Ten Hag says, quote, that was the aim regarding the game, to win the game. We did it. We are happy with the win. We showed character, great character. Every time this team comes out, they show the personality and the determination needed. So, no, I mean, he said we're not looking ahead. We have games before Brighton, Hove, Albion, and we're just focusing on those games before, But other semi-final matchup, family. All right, regarding Brighton rubber stamp a team yesterday, and in fact, let me get the results. So Brighton rubber stamp Grimsby Town 5-0. Yeah. Your thoughts on Brighton? I mean, deservedly Brighton, they're doing good things, and it's kind of just the flavor of the year team, not just the month.
All right. There was a year, you remember, and I'm about to pull a team out right now. I know Jeremy, I know Dalton, the people what take part in the chat now. You remember the year when Hull came up with Marlon King and they had a great start to the season and they rode that wave all the way through for that one season. You remember that one Marlon King year?
Yeah.
When it's just they had a great start and we just ride it right through, right? Leicester kind of had the same thing going on to when they won the championship. They had a great start. Jamie Vardy went off to a tear and him just couldn't stop. And all the other teams them around them, the big teams, them had a down year, so Leicester just take advantage of it. Brighton, to me, is having one of those years. It's just unfortunate that Man U is back. Man City is Man City. Arsenal is a year ahead of the Inland project, which is why Brighton not really up there. Newcastle spent a lot of money. So you have all of these teams that came around and kind of like match that energy or that vibe or that style of play from Brighton. I was thinking about this today in the show too, coming into the show. I think when it's all said and done, Graham Potter is going to rule the decision of leaving Brighton this early. I think if Graham Potter had stayed on at Brighton, Brighton would still be playing the way they're playing, having the same results they're having right now. And we would have been talking about Graham Potter meeting Daniel Levy and taking over Tottenham at the end of the year instead of Chelsea. If things were to come up, if he could have done it all over again. I really truly think that. Okay. Brighton, what Brighton is playing right now is a testament to Graham Potter and his coaching. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea, he did a good job laying the foundation, but
it's all him. This is all him.
It's not all him.
No, come on, Benton. It's all him. Because we saw Brighton last year doing the same thing.
Let's give credit to the backroom staff, the scouts, the GM, the general manager, the technical director, the players, the people who are actually going out there and scouting talent. Because Graham Potter full up on the yard now scout talent, all right? But I credit to him. I do agree if he was there, they would still be playing excellent football. Round up for the FA Cup results. Of course, Man United defeated Fulham 3-1. Brighton beat the brakes off Grimsby. Sheffield United came from behind, defeated Blackburn 3-2. Man City, rubber stamp Burnley. And big up to my brethren, Vincent Company. Vincent Company said they're not the number one team in the championship. They're the 21st best team in English football. And they got rubber stamp by probably the best team in English football. Junior, Sheffield United versus Man City is the other semi-final. I mean, we don't want to pick them early, but early readings, family.
Look, everybody is saying Manchester Derby, FA Cup final, right? Everybody is saying that. Everybody's already looking forward to next year's Community Shield, Arsenal versus the winner of the Manchester Derby, right? I'll say this. I'm a Manchester United fan. I would love us to get the Ghetto Treble this year, which is the League Cup, FA Cup, and the Europa Cup, right?
Ghetto Treble?
Ghetto Treble.
Okay.
I would love to get the Ghetto Treble this year, but I really feel Brighton have something for Man U. My early read is I really feel because of Ten Hag's tenacity, there's going to be that one game, that Liverpool game is going to pop up again. And I really fear Brighton at Wembley. I really, really think that's going to be a tricky game. We don't know Man City will make it to the final, right? And if Man U get over that landmine and make it, it's going to be one of the greatest FA Cup finals. I really, truly believe that. But Brighton is a serious landmine. And my early returns are Brighton might win the game. I'm just hoping that Marshall can somehow make a return at play. I don't know. But Man U need a number 9 to play against Brighton.
All right. Yes. So, but We have enough time. I mean, a lot can happen, but that should be a definitely tasty matchup. Tasty matchup, providing that both teams remain healthy coming into the game. Junior, before we get to the EPL, let's pivot in out of some news. And again, updating the Scudetto encounter, Juventus leading Inter Milan 1-0. We're in the 86th minute. El Clasico 1-1, currently in the 74th minute. Antonio Conte had a fiery week, brother. I mean, he's the coach of Tottenham. Tottenham drew 3-3 against Southampton. Antonio Conte says, quote, at the post-match presser, he was pretty pissed off. He said a lot of things. One of the things he said, quote, they're used to it here. Don't play for something important. They don't want to play under pressure. They don't want to play under stress. Tottenham's story is this. 20 years. 20 years as the owner and they never won something. End quote. Julian, how is Antonio Conte still the coach at Tottenham today?
You know, all right. We all know Antonio Conte is gone, right? We all know that. It's a foregone conclusion. I wouldn't even bet any money. It's a waste of bet. Conte gone, right? But when you read his comment and read behind that comment, there is so much that was said in that press conference. There was so much that was said about the players and ownership and the board in that press, in that state. I'm going to read between. Listen, I am the coach's whisperer. All right? They are used to it here. Don't play for something important, right? Who is the they I'm talking about? Players, ownership, board. They don't want to play under pressure. Who is he talking about at that point? The players. Who the hell the players complain to about Conte putting them under pressure? The board, right? It's obvious. It's clear as day that, I don't know, I don't put a name on it, but somebody got to the board and say, yeah, this coach has put too much pressure upon we. And the board take the players' word for it and came back to Conte. It is obvious that's what Conte is saying. They don't want to play under stress. If me are the coach, if me say we're going to play high-pressing football, no player can come to me and tell me, so we're not playing high-pressing football. So how the hell me as a coach I going to say they don't want to play under stress? That means you complain to somebody higher than me. And that person that's higher than me come down with more pressure and say, no, we're not playing like this. Tottenham's story is this. 20 years, there is the owner and they never won something. What was the... when people talk about Tottenham Hotspurs, 21 plus years ago, what people used to say about Tottenham? What was the... what? There's a term people used to describe Tottenham 21 years ago. I'm talking... You said this is a cup team, right?
Yeah.
Remember that argument with I talk with Aaron Lennon, I talk with what my boy Tom Huddleston from that team earlier, Jeremy and Genus from that team earlier. Tottenham has always been a cup team, and they have lost that moniker. And I think Conte opened the door wide open and said, "Look, the players them have more authority than me. Me want them play under pressure. Me want them play under stress. And they refuse to do it. But yet, me still play my regular level." Conte, yo, big up Conte.
Yo, all right. So there's a couple of things that's going on here with this Conte statement. And the point, the analysis that you make, it's quite possible. But these are players that a percentage of them were brought in by Antonio Conte. Perisic, Bissouma, Richarlison, Bentoncourt, Cristiano Romero, Longley on loan from Barcelona, the goalkeeper, number 2, Foster. So that's 7 players. And Dan Juma is also on the bench from Villarreal or wherever he's from loan from. He's on the bench at Tottenham. Antonio Conte is trying to absolve himself of any culpability here. The players, the coach set the environment for whatever transpire. I fundamentally believe that. This is not like Conte just took over this team 2 weeks ago. He's been in charge of Tottenham for a year, 2 years now. So the Conte's personality should ring through this entire locker room. He signed the people that he wanted. They have a youth named Jude Spence, or whatever Spence, who still haven't seen any minutes. I think he's back on loan somewhere in Italy. Antonio Conte, I'm not saying what he's saying regarding the culture of the club isn't a problem. You know, there's a fundamental culture shift that needs to happen at Spurs. And he's probably trying to burn the whole place down for the next manager. But it's ironic that I think this brother just squeezed or easy himself out of the culpability, because he said at the beginning of the press conference, we all get paid and we are supposed to be passionate. But brother, you name the team. You roll out the same team, the same players. If they're not passionate, you have backup players. What are you doing? For example, the game against Southampton yesterday. They're done. They're leading 3-1. Boom. By the way, they look bad against Southampton. Big up the Saints. They look bad against Southampton. They're leading 3-1. Brother, Southampton is the worst team in the EPL, you know, sitting at the table, bottom of the table, the worst team in the EPL. Southampton scored 1 goal and make it 3-2. Antonio Conte got nervous and sent on defenders to lock shop against Southampton. He has Dan Juma sitting on the bench. He has another attacking player sitting on the bench. And I'm saying, this brother afraid of Southampton is an idiot coach. And yes, the idiot coach is a stretch too far. But I don't know if since he did the surgery, there's a screw missing somewhere. Something is not right with Antonio Conte. I think he's trying to get sacked to get the high payday, the high payout against, because usually these coaches have a nice payout if they get sacked. I mean, this is just, it's just crazy. You can't come talk them thing there in a press, brother. Go on corner with them conversation there. The man, he's not only criticized the players, he says the owner is the same owner, and is the same owner supposed to pay his salary. I want to
But him right. And you see all right. I agree that with your say.
Big up to Andre. Andre says Real Madrid up 2-1. Yeah man. Real Madrid up 2-1. So Barca fans, just go and rub the stone or the obvious player.
Marco Asensio with the goals just scored.
Yeah, so Real Madrid.
But the thing,
imagine where them find him. Go ahead, Junior. Sorry, regarding this content thing.
But the thing is this. I think the season was already lost when Harry Kane resolution didn't happen. Harry Kane should not have played for Tottenham this year. Shouldn't. And I think, I don't know. I'll publicly say I am siding with Conte, so I'm going to be biased for Conte. You are obviously going the opposite way when it comes to Conte, and that's fine. That makes for good TV, right? So I will always err to the side to say, Conte never won Kane. We have never heard Conte in all of his fiery conferences. Never once said Harry Kane fight. Name out time out. Right?
Yeah, but Harry Kane play every game.
Exactly.
So then, Conte...
No, but not done yet, though. But not done yet.
Go ahead.
You just gave up a 3-1 lead against Southampton. And the game draw 3-3. You never yet roll the bus over Eric Dyer. Why? But Eric Dyer play every game. What's going on there? There's something going on there, Benton. And from the Conte's perspective that I am leaning on, I am siding with Antonio Conte. There is something going on with Eric Dyer, Harry Kane, and Antonio Conte. And I think Levy have something to do with it.
Look at the list of players. Christian Romero, Destiny Odegeji, Jed Spence, Clement Longley, Richarlison, Fraser Foster, Perisic, Bissouma, Bentecourt, Kulusevski. So that's in the summer of 2022. In January 2023, he signed Danjuma and Pedro Porro and Jude Bell.
Spence.
Yeah, no man, him need to get. And probably if there's probably this part of me who don't want him to get the large payout, because I will probably just force him to stay and just do the job. Tottenham is not in jeopardy of getting relegated. He's not gonna get. I wouldn't give him his 10 million or whatever the payout is. Just make him go and run through it. He will probably take the rest of the season off and make the assistant do it. But I mean, Antonio Conte is just as guilty as these players. And yes, the owner is a bug owner. But he knows what. Nobody never tell Antonio Conte to take the job at Tottenham. He knows what he was getting himself to. So many people told him not to take the job. Camon and Ballchat tell him not to take the job. But no, Antonio Conte says, no, we got this. And now he's complaining about the owner, the players. Same players that he agreed to transfer. Go on, yard there, Conte. No, but I wish him all the best because I know his health. He went through surgery recently, and I know there's some issues around, stuff. So and even Conte came out recently and said in a presser, he missed Italian football, to paraphrase. You're always in love with your first love. So it's just the man just said, yo, I can't wait. I can't wait to just leave. The man just... And we spoke about this last week, and we said one thing is that these pressers from here on in were going to be lit. They're going to be entertaining. So watch the space for more Antonio Conte's press conference turn up.
Yep.
Junior, so where those Spurs go from there? By the way, I thought Real Madrid score.
They did, yeah. Wait, them take it off?
No, I mean I just refreshed and I didn't see the score up there, but we'll see.
No, them take it off. Hold on, let me see what happened.
Okay.
Let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. People looking at the live commentary. I have the game up, but the goal overturned by VAR. Scores of goal is ruled out after our VAR review.
All right. So our score is
still 1-1. Yeah.
Our score is correct. So VAR take it off. All right, Junior. Let's continue our EPL roundup. Let's get to a run through our EPL quickly. Arsenal beat the brakes off Crystal Palace 4-1. We'll get to Crystal Palace and discuss what's going on with Crystal Palace in a minute. Aston Villa 3-0 over Bournemouth. Brentford, Leicester City 1-1. Southampton 3-3 with Spurs. Wolves lost to Leeds 4-2. And Chelsea and Everton drew 2-2. There's one thing that's different about these two managers, a Chelsea and Tottenham manager. One manager gave away a lead at the end and he lost his his S. The other manager gave away a lead at the end. He showed up at the press conference and said, obviously we wanted to win. We're disappointed in the outcome. The players gave it all. It seems like mediocrity is now acceptable at Chelsea. Mid-table 10th is acceptable at Chelsea under Graham Potter's helm. They were leading at home 2-1 against Everton. And Graham Potter just come in and just say, yo, I'm disappointed, but it's all good. Whereas you look at Antonio Conte, who just is going crazy at the other end.
Because one coach has the support of leadership, the other coach doesn't. That is the difference. That's the difference. One coach wants to put the pressure on the players, the other coach don't. So it's crazy. But look at the question from BM though, real quick.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on Richarlison? I think he's the most overrated Brazilian player ever. How can big Brazil have a player who can score in his league as their lead striker? Madness.
I like Richarlison. Richarlison. No, I think Brazilian players come in many flavors. There'll be some who are gonna be fancy. There's some who's gonna be hard nosed. I think Richarlison in the last few months at Everton was huge. That's the Richarlison that I love to see. Now he's a bit emotional, and it can be a head case. So you have to have a manager who can manage him, who can definitely appeal to him. But I like the youth. He can play ball. He will score your goals. He's not going to score you a bag of goals. I like the latter part of Everton, Richarlison. And you've seen sprinkle of it at Everton. Who's a youth who will give his heart for the club.
I agree. Richarlison is obviously a modern day Edmundo. If anybody, you have to be a real football fan when you hear the name Edmundo, and the people call him the animal, right? That's who Richarlison is. Most overrated Brazilian? No. Nobody compares to Rai Socrates. Nobody. Rai Socrates is the poster child of overrated.
Yeah, but look it up. Pull him down, Junior.
Look up Rai Socrates, 1994 World Cup. Dunga wasn't the captain to start the World Cup. Was Dunga the finisher captain? Or Dunga was the captain?
Junior,
but Rai started as the captain of Brazil.
That Socrates name, Junior. He couldn't follow that Socrates. That name there is just too much weight.
Rai couldn't follow the Brazilian canary yellow shirt. And worse about the number 10. The man running was so fast after the first game. I'll never forget it. So no, he's not the most overrated, but he is Edmundo. You know who else Richards remind me of?
Well,
Giovanni Elba. You remember Giovanni Elba?
Yeah.
He kind of remind me of Elba too. Like his second tier. He's that. Remember Elba used to play for Leverkusen, I think.
Yeah.
And he always gives some big goal. You put him on the big stage.
Yeah. It's a player that you want some players who are willing to fight. And I mean, I talk about fist fight. I mean, I talk about just have some dog in them. And I think Richarlison, when managed properly, he will give you that extra mile. You have some ball out there who them can't get dirty. Them cleats, them a star boy, and etc. etc. That's not Richarlison. The Richarlison I saw at Everton in the latter part of that, when Everton was struggling to stay up, he was huge. So big up to him. I like him. He quick for ball though. What a brother quick for ball. Junior, the EPL table, Arsenal beat the brakes off Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace sacked Patrick Vieira. The man them said the results not good, brother. Not good. 12 games. 12 games winless run. A long time to not win a game. Do you agree with the
score,
move?
by the way?
Do you agree with the move, Junior?
No, I don't agree with the move. And we earlier in the year, by the way, Kessie scored for Barcelona in the 92nd minute.
Yeah.
So Barca got to the La Liga title. But we earlier in the year, we said Crystal Palace is playing some of the best football in England without the results, right? They were playing good football. I don't think Vieira was fired more than Vieira went in and pulled a Conte, and the Crystal Palace brass said, yo, we don't have time for wasting, go out there, man. You now win, and you come complain, move up. Come out of your place,
man. He went in and complained, and then I wanted more. And so the management. Word is that Roy Hodgson is being considered, Junior, as a stopgap. You agree with that one there?
Of course, I agree with it, of course. I mean, Roy is seasoned already. What big summer deal with?
I guess he's probably on vacation. I don't know.
Vacation. But yeah, these are the players now, guys. So right now, it's all about survival. It's not about playing pretty football, right? So you can't bring in a coach who will come in now and I'm gonna try to implement a system and we're going to try to play attractive football. No, we're trying to stay up and maintain dollars, right? And that's something that Roy will do. Plus, Roy is familiar, so
survival. Junior, quickly, we want to get your thoughts. Champions League games coming on this week, not this week, but in the first week or so in April. I need to check the date. Draw took place this past week. Real Madrid versus Chelsea. Man City versus Bayern. The winner of those two encounters will meet in the semi-final. Benfica versus Inter. AC Milan versus Napoli. Winners of those two encounters will meet in the other semi-final. Quickly, family, your early reading on these Champions League quarterfinals.
You know, coming into this week, I was ready to say that Chelsea. I was even ready to boast how Chelsea is finding their scoring touch. But no, the problem is the pressure that they have put on their defense from early in the Grand Potter raid is now starting to bear fruit in a negative way at the back end, right? We're now them leaking goals. Real Madrid is a big side, right? But to me, Real Madrid, them two sometime-ish. I really think Chelsea have a chance against Madrid. But after the Everton game, I'm not sure. But I really think we should prepare for a Napoli-Man City final. I really think so. I really think Man City going to beat them. I expect Man City to beat the brakes off of Bayern. Completely beat the brakes off of Bayern. I expect Chelsea to beat Real Madrid. I don't know how, but I expect Chelsea to do it. I expect Benfica to beat Inter. I expect Napoli to beat AC Milan. Those are my expectations.
I expect Real Madrid to beat Chelsea. I think Real Madrid, this is their I mean, when you won so many Champions League, big trophy this, a big side, a big coach, a smart, intelligent coach versus a brother who already come up and with stars. I mean, people who play for this. I mean, so right. I expect the spotlight to be too big for Chelsea. The Man City versus Bayern Munich game is going to be a huge game. I mean, the absence of João Cancelo for Man City and flipping to Bayern Munich, it could be interesting.
But he might be absent for Bayern Munich too.
No, I mean, he's not. According to agreement, he can play, right? It's just that
but is he favored at the moment? Probably not.
He's been getting limited minutes, but I envision that in some capacity he'll be thrown on. I mean, and he will want to definitely. The thing with Bayern Munich, the speed on the outside is just huge. I mean, when you have Alphonso Davies on one side, and then they're running at you, the speed is gonna be huge. So, Napoli, I would like to see Napoli make it to the final. Big up to the Rossinier, but it would be nice to see Napoli make it to the final and probably win this whole thing, because they're probably the hottest team in all of football right now.
Right.
Hottest team in all of football. But big up to the Rossinier. I know the AC Milan fans are optimistic. So an Italian team will be in the semi-final, Junior. That's our first time in a long time. I can't remember. So Juventus defeated Inter Milan 1-0 and Barcelona defeated Real Madrid. So that should wrap up La Liga for Barcelona, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're like 9 points clear, I think.
Yeah, so it was an essential. And I think I picked them winning La Liga in summer, because Real Madrid failed to strengthen that striker position. So, all right, Junior, we're at the international break, so we have to touch on Jamaican football. The Reggaeboyz getting ready to play Mexico this week. First and foremost, they played TNT. They drew 0-0 in the second of the two-match series. Junior, your thoughts on the 0-0 tie and this game against Mexico coming up this Sunday at 8 p.m. And
I don't care anything.
Watch along for the game, all right?
So, yeah, because We have a tournament that we can, what's supposed to do about? Yeah, so we can do watch a lot.
Yeah.
Assuming we can find a stream.
Yes. I figure we should be able to get it on Univision at least.
At least. But I'm going to reserve judgment. The dentist, as you call him, he's still trying to figure out where the molars fit. And should he get braces and what size braces he need to put on. And we can't really judge until the braces are removed to use a dentistry talk. Because you know Jamaica, for people who know Jamaican football is what off-site dentists or whatever. So the Trinidad games, I was not impressed, but neither was I hoping to be impressed, because half of those players you're not going to play. Probably play some in the Gold Cup, but half of them not going to play in the World Cup qualifiers unless them career build over the next 6 months to 8 months and them go on to play higher level football. It was what it was. And I don't expect much from the Mexico game, neither, because both teams are in flux, right? Mexico moved on from Tata Martino, and we don't know what they're going to look like next week. We don't know if it's going to be an experimental game. Jamaica is still experimenting. I think at the end of the press conference after the second TNT game, when they asked the coach, he had Mariappa sitting beside him, and they asked him do you know who you're going to call for the Mexico game? And he said, yeah, I know who I'm going to call. I looked straight on Mariappa for understood I said, yeah, we'll start with Mariappa, right? And then after that, that's it. We don't know who else I call, right? So there was something like that where kind of hinted towards Mariappa was the only player. Everybody want to talk about the Whisper thing. Whisper did his thing without service, just looking at him, judging him individually. Did it. Omari Hutchinson did his thing first game. Big up military Guna and them color analysts. We don't remember all the color analysis, but who really were advocating for the sub. Omari saying, boy, the man tired. Really. It was funny watching the stream. But apart from that, no, you can't. I can't pick anything out of the game. Other than it's happy to see that we know some players who can play Gold Cup. We know that months before Gold Cup start.
Reggaeboyz are in CONCACAF League Nation League A. Group A, they'll play Mexico. They're sitting on top of the group. They'll play Mexico this weekend, March 26th. Suriname will now run a back. The winner of each group will go on to the semifinals. Panama leading Group B. Honduras leading Group C. El Salvador leading Group D. Junior, I watched that game. Yeah, big up military, big up Manning's man, big up coach's desk, big up the entire crew for the coverage and the color analysts. Omari Hutchinson during this series show you the good, the bad, and the ugly of Omari Hutchinson. First game he was very good. The second game, the man looked like a $2 baller. He just looked was really bad. And I understand with young players sometimes you want them to play through it. And hopefully he won't dwell on it. He will come better. Junior, I also thought that it's also essential for young players to notice the in-game adjustments, the things that needs to be done. Omari is playing at a very high level, being a part of the Chelsea setup. He should have noticed those double teams coming to him, and rather than take on some of them, he should have let go of the ball. But I don't know if Omari can just play one way. Maybe he's just a winger who can just try go down the wing and that's it. And so he needs to try to expand his game, you know. I don't know. It's like, Trinidad, Angus Eve and Trinidad, they feel good because they went to Jamaica and they won a game and they drew the other game. And you don't know, the Jamaica-Trinidad rivalry is always a big thing. And it was a bit disappointing that Jamaica could not win one of these games because you're playing Trinidad, you want to win a game. And we
But
didn't
look
even
at what
score a
BM,
goal.
said. BM says, let's be fair though. We beat Tupper for playing unimaginative, long ball and kick and run down. If this continues under the dentist, we must use the belt buckle.
Yeah, the radio audience need to know the exact comment, Junior, rather than the TV audience.
Sorry. So for all those listening on audio, BM, big up BM said, let's be fair though. We beat Tupper for playing unimaginative, long ball and kick and run down. If this continues under the dentist, we must use the belt buckle.
It wasn't pretty, and that's putting it mildly. It was not pretty. Big up to Colin Anderson playing striker who try a thing. Yes, a big up to the youth. I mean, also another puzzling thing, Junior, is just Lamar Walker. And I mean, a few years ago, it's just this youth was highly regarded. One time he was on the way to go to Vasco da Gama, and Lamar Walker just looks like a shadow of himself. No teeth and no creativity. It's just, I don't know, Junior. I don't know. That game against Mexico is gonna be tricky on Sunday. It's gonna be tricky. Diego Coca is the coach, Newman in charge of Mexico, and just don't get butter bruise. Don't get butter bruise.
Yeah, but it depends on which team we're going to use. We don't see the squad yet, right?
No, we thought the squad would be released already, but it's not. We just got word from the JFF that it's coming soon. I guess they might make some more calls.
No, that means them bringing in a big side. That's what that means.
You know, so players are supposed to report to a camp tomorrow, because then they fly to Mexico for this game. I don't see Jamaica winning this game against Mexico, but I mean,
no, we can't beat Mexico Azteca. Wow, that's crazy to ask. It's probably even crazy to ask for a draw, but the best scenario is let us look better than the last time we played. That should be our goal now. And like BM said, we'll table the belt buckle, but we want to make sure that you lose to Trinidad 1-0. The next game that came out, at least you never lose 1-0. You draw the game 0-0. Next up, I don't know what metrics you want to look for. Against Mexico, we don't want to look like a team we're going to play part the bus. That would be my expectation on Sunday. Let's play expansive football. Right? BM said Lamar Walker was very disappointed. This is a player Vasco da Gama wanted at one point. I was even ready to crown him the next Alan Skill.
Big up Alan Skill Cole, man, the general. But it's also important, it's easy to sit here and assess these players, but the guidance is needed. Youths who are coming through the ranks, the Lamar Walkers of the world, Tariq McGee, no Whisper, and other young players who are coming through the ranks. Big up to Martin Davis. They need good guidance. They need people who's going to surround them with, because it's a mental game and it's a physical game. And the players them need good guidance. It's sad and disappointing to see where Lamar Walker has fallen to right now.
We're not for about Whisper, because Whisper is in an organization that is not going to allow him to fall off easily.
We hope because
no, he is in an organization that won't allow him to fall off easily.
We see people in an organized football and them head take them all the while and do foolishness. You hear people them say Sa is a madman at Crystal Palace. So he's a baller, but it's at achieving those potential, right? Maximizing those potential. You need people to guide you and support you, and a team sign a contract with you, they expect you to deliver. And so you have to have other support system away from that club to know that when the chips are down, you need guidance. And young players especially going to need that. Young players going to need that. So, big up. But Junior, we just have to prepare for Sunday, brother. Just get a buckle of
We will
rum
see.
and just get a buckle of rum and just go on easy.
But hey, we get my new jersey. So ready.
Big up. Big up to all listeners. We're going to go over yard. Just a reminder again, Juventus defeated Inter Milan 1-0. Barcelona defeated Real Madrid 2-1. I guess engineer is just calling La Liga for Barcelona. Which I am fine with. Long as them don't win Champions League or Europa League, I am fine. Them can win the local Bush League all they want. I'm good. Junior, any final comments before we go my yard, family?
No, look out for the watch along next week. More than likely, I assume we can find a stream, which means that we're not go a ball field next week.
Maybe the weather will be cool again. You can connect with us on Facebook at Ballchat. We're on Twitter at Ballchat1. We're on Instagram at Ballchat Podcast. You can email us at ballchatpodcast@gmail.com. Big up, thank you to all the listeners. Boy, Antonio Conte. Drink a flask of rum and calm yourself, brother. Calm yourself.
Next week is forecasted to be 74 degrees, partly cloudy. Ball game.
Engineer, look at more family.
Later.